Hey guys, I'm Chef T-Max. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today, Japanese pancakes. Not the sweet ones, but savory ones. I know there's been a little rage about the sweet ones out there, but today we're gonna do the savory one, the Okonomiyaki. And it's fantastic, super easy to make. You're gonna love it. Click subscribe if you're not doing that already. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and ring that bell, and I'll send you new things I have coming up. So I'll see you back in a second with some Japanese pancakes. Okay guys, we're gonna start this off with our Japanese pancakes. These are a savory pancake. I know the sweet ones. I'm gonna take a cabbage head here while I talk to you, and I'm gonna cut this in half like this, right? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this root piece out of here. You see that? Like that. So we don't have any of that big, thick root chunk in there, okay? And then I'm just gonna lay this pancake down and cut that in half as well. And then from here, I'm gonna slice it thin. Now I like to slice it thin because this pancake is a cabbage pancake, right? So it's savory. I was saying I like the new ones that are out right now. They're more of like almost like a French souffle, which is separating the eggs from the whites, and you whip up the egg whites and you fold it back into the egg yolks, put some sugar in it, whatever flavoring you want, and you make this like, basically it's a sautéed souffle, that one that you're seeing online a lot right now. Then they're calling it a Japanese pancake, but we see that a lot. Now, this is a little bit different. This one is a savory cabbage pancake. And you know, I was talking to a Japanese friend of mine, chef friend of mine, and he was telling me the reason that the Japanese started to use this pancake was really because of the Americans, and that we had, when the military was over there too, we had left a bunch of flour. They had a bunch of flour from breakfast and things like that, and they had seen the uses of breakfast and the bacon being used. So this pancake was kind of came out of that whole scene of having this excess amount of flour. They came up with this pancake, and it actually does have bacon on it too. The traditional has thin sliced pork belly on there when it's sautéed, as you're going to see. But now, whether this is totally accurate, I don't know. That's just what I heard from my source, but I don't know how accurate it is. But interesting to know for sure how these came about. But a very interesting pancake, very tasty. It's a lot different than the kind of the Korean style scallion pancakes you get. This one uses all-purpose flour, or you could use a bread flour if you have to. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take right here, I've got 1/2 of that cabbage. And I'm going to start with that because I think that might be enough, right? 1/2 of a head of cabbage. And then I'm going to cut some scallions. I have a bunch of scallions here. So it's one bunch, okay? And I'm just going to cut that like this. These have been washed. Make sure you always wash your scallions or your green onions very nice, because they do get a lot of dirt in them, right? And I'm just going to slice this small here. I'm trying to go slow, not because I'm a slow cutter, but because they love to run all over the cutting board and all over the floor, the little circles of it. So I'm just kind of watching that. I'm going to take these onions and I'm going to put these in here with our cabbage. So I've got a 1/2 head of green cabbage, 1 bunch of green onions. I love the flavor. The smell of green onions is fantastic. Then I've got 4 ounces. So it's 1/2 block of a cheddar cheese. So I've just grated that up on my grater here, you can see. And I'm just gonna get all of that cheese out in there like this. That cheese is kind of gonna be what really gives you that really nice, kind of aged flavor, which I love. Now, Japanese pancakes, a lot of times they'll call for sweet potato, and the sweet potato gives it that creaminess to the pancake, and that's what this is going to give you as well. So at this point, I'm going to add some salt. Now, traditionally, not traditionally, but a lot of times you might use a salt with a seaweed in it. So I do have some seaweed salt here. You don't have to have that. You can just use regular sea salt, kosher salt, whatever. I do put, however, I put a teaspoon of dashi granules. These are granules you can buy at an Asian store. What do they do? This is kind of like a quick way of making dashi. So dashi is basically a stock made from taking a salted and dried fish, and it's basically after it's been dried and salted and smoked, they slice it very thin to make the dashi, the bonita flakes. And those bonita flakes, when you put those in water with kombu and stuff like this, you're making your dashi, which is your stock. But the kombu, the bonita flakes are really nice. And so what they do is they make this kind of powdered version of that. And what does that add to this? It adds smokiness, right? Because the dashi the bonita is smoked. It's been smoked. It has a very smoky, very beautiful seafoody flavor to that, and that's what it's going to add to this. Do you need to put it in here? No, you don't. If you have like one of those instant dashi mixes that's dry, you can stick that in there too. So it's up to you. You can just leave it out. It adds smokiness, so you might not miss that or be sad that it's gone. Now we're going to take the wet ingredients. I've got some, well, not completely wet, right? Because I've got some sugar here. I've got some sugar. I have some raw sugar. You can use just regular white sugar is fine. A lot of times I like to use turbinado sugar whenever I can in replace of white sugar. And I'm going to take 4 eggs. So we have 4 eggs here. Okay. And then I'm going to start to whisk this up a little bit. Okay, so you can see me whisk these eggs up nicely with the sugar. Okay, now in this too, I'm going to want to put a little bit of salt in this too. Because even though we put salt in our mix there, I want to put some in here too. Okay. Now this over here, I'm going to mix this up with the cabbage, green onions, and the cheese. Okay. Okay, now I'm going to put a little soy, 2 tablespoons of soy. Actually, for this amount, I think 1 tablespoon is going to be fine. It's 1 full tablespoon of soy. I love this dark soy. I use a dark soy on that. You can use your regular light soy. If you have a light soy, it's fine. Okay, now I've got flour here. I've got about, this is exactly 14 ounces of all-purpose flour. I'm going to pour my egg mixture on top. Move this to the side here. I'm going to cut in this flour. Meanwhile, what I'm going to do is add water. Now, for that, I have 14 ounces of that. I've got 12 ounces of water. So 1, 2, these are each 4 ounces, or half cups. That's 4 ounces right there. So that's 12 right there. And I'm going to mix this up. And this is going to give me my little batter here for our pancake. Okay? Should be the perfect amount. Okay, you can see that it's looking good so far. Now the last piece of this too is I want to put, you can see the batter is looking really nice right about now. It's almost equal parts of water, liquid to flour, but not quite. It's a little bit more flour than that. But you can see the texture, right, of that. All right, now I'm going to add in tofu. So tofu is going to also give you this nice velvetiness to this as well. I'm going to lift this out of here if I can, like this. I don't want to take all this water. That's an excess amount of water. But the tofu that I'm using is like a very silky tofu. I don't use a firm tofu because that's very granular like, and it's not going to give you the same texture that you're looking for. What we're looking for is that creamy texture. This is going to make up for that lack of sweet potato. Now, if you had a Japanese sweet potato and you wanted to puree it up and add that to this, you could do that instead. But it's a lot easier for you guys to buy silken tofu, right? And cut that into your batter here. And that's going to give the pancake a nice texture. Okay, so I've got my tofu in here. My batter's looking good, right? I mix this up really good. Okay, what we're gonna need to do is we wanna do this the day before. So we're gonna go ahead and marinate this up nice with our cabbage. And then tomorrow we will try these pancakes out, okay? So here you can see I've got my batter nice and mixed up. You can see the texture is really nice. I'm gonna pour this on top of my cabbage like this. It looks beautiful, right? And then I'm gonna fold my cabbage and my pancake together. And you're gonna see, you've got a beautiful, beautiful cabbage pancake here. Look at that, right? So now, it's just the right amount of cabbage and pancake together. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and cover this up, and we're gonna set it in the fridge overnight, and then tomorrow, all those flavors are gonna really develop together. The cabbage from the salt that's in there is gonna wilt out a little bit, and it's gonna make a really nice pancake for us. So we'll see you back. Let's put this away, and tomorrow we'll try it out. See you back soon. Hey guys, it's the next day here. We've got our batter. Let's take a look at this batter now. You see how it's nice and firm, it's beautiful. Regular looks like a regular pancake batter, right? So we're gonna show you how we do that. So first we're gonna take a nice hot griddle here, put our oil in the center of that, and then I'm gonna take my nice cabbage. Whoops, we don't wanna splatter that down, we just wanna put it down nice. Put it right in the center like this. And that's it. So that's probably good for one right there. Now, I want to pat it around like this, make a nice circle. Okay. And I'm going to let that cook for a little bit. Now, while that cooks, let's go ahead and make some sauce for that. Here I've got just some mayonnaise. You can use Japanese Kewpie mayonnaise, a little sweeter, and that's really nice. Otherwise, you could just use your regular mayonnaise. It's up to you. But with this, I've got I'm going to make another little sauce for the top of it. I have some oyster sauce. I'm going to use 1 ounce of that. So it's 1 oyster, 1 soy, and 2 barbecue. Now you can use a Japanese barbecue or you can use yours. So here I'm going to just do 1. And I like this thin soy, or you can use a reduced soy if you'd like. If you really like saltiness, you can put a full salt driven soy here. But with this, I'm going to use my barbecue sauce. I just have a generic barbecue sauce in the house. Now, what I like about an American style barbecue sauce is the amount of smoke that you're going to get from it. They tend to have more smoke in them. So with that, I'm going to take and I'm going to go ahead and just mix this up like this. You guys can see texture-wise, that's it. I'll taste it, make sure I like it. That's beautiful. Salty, smoky, perfect. Okay, now this, you're gonna see will start to come together. Now, one thing that will allow this to cook a little faster is if you put a lid on this. So if you have a lid to do this, you gotta be careful because most of the lids I have for my pots are too thin, so they'd like be smashed on top of it. So you need something else. But give me 1 second, I'll show you something else. So I also have another one of these bowls. So what you could do is put the bowl on it like this, right? And at this point, it's not only sauteing on the bottom and getting crispy, but it's also steaming from the top. So it's cooking 2 different ways. But you just gotta be careful when you pull this thing off. I'll get myself a towel and we'll try not to burn myself when we do that. So with this, at this point, this type of pancake, now you can, I prefer not to jam it with a bunch of different ingredients. A lot of times people want to put a bunch of stuff in there. I tend to not like to do that. I like to go ahead and make the pancake like this, and then other ingredients you can put on top. So if you want to do mushrooms, the sauteed shrimp, and do that, separate that, saute that separately, And you can make a big meal out of this by, you get some shrimp and you get, you get some mushrooms and you get some onions and you saute all that mixture up and throw some herbs in it if you want. And then when you have a nice mix of that, you can just serve that on top of the pancake after it's done. Or you can put lobster or make it really elevated if you like to. So with this, you can see, look at that steam that comes out, you see? And that's gonna help to cook it faster. Now I wanna check to make sure it's not burning, right? And then at this point, what I'm gonna do is lightly flip it. Whoops, okay? Now, one of the things you could do as well, very traditional, I'm not doing it today, is add bacon to this. So to add bacon to this, before we flipped it, we would put the bacon on that raw side. So I'd take some bacon out of your fridge, clip it so it fits this, and lay the strips of bacon right in there. That way when you flipped it over on this side, now it would start getting crispy and the bacon would start cooking with it. That bacon with this pancake is amazing. So that's what I would like to do as well. Now, what I'll do at this point is I'll take some of my mayonnaise, I'll put that on top, like this. Okay. And then I'm going to take this sauce as well, put it on there. And that looks beautiful, right? You don't want to put this right on the burner because the sweetness in both your mayonnaise and your oyster sauce will burn, on the top. So you don't want to do that. Now, what you can do now is put this on this side, and we'll let that cook. So we're going to let that cook for about, 3 to 4 more minutes. This pancake does take about 10 minutes to cook completely because it is thicker than a regular pancake, and it's got egg in the center and all that. So we want to make sure it cooks completely. So we'll let that roll for a little bit, and I'll see you guys back in about 2 or 3 more minutes. Okay, guys, we're back. It's been about 3 more minutes. Let's take a look at this thing now. Ooh, you got that steam coming off. Beautiful. Wow, look at this, right? Our pancake is really looking nice now. It's gotten it's firmed up slightly. It's still going to be a little soft in the center. That's how it's supposed to be. And then I want to go ahead and plop it right on here. Look at that. Unbelievable. Nice and moist with the sauces on top of that. Okay, and then I'm going to take some cilantro and just chop a little cilantro here. Okay, and we're just going to lay that on top. Wow, look at that. Unbelievable. So with this, you could serve this with some dashi flakes on there, some green onions, whatever you like. But realistically, this pancake is so simple, so nice. You could serve this with other things. Like I said, you could serve this with some grilled shrimp. You serve it with a lot of stuff. But the pancake itself, it looks beautiful. Let's try it. Nice and light. Beautiful egg flavor in there. The tofu gives it a nice creaminess as well. Both that and the cheese in there. That cheese give it just a really mild, beautiful flavor to it. Everything adding dimension. That's what I love about it. The cabbage, it's going to add like this crispiness, right? So super simple pancake. Really fun to make at home. I hope you guys like it. I hope you can try this because it's something a lot of people don't try. They've had savory pancakes when they've been to certain Asian style places, whether it's Korean or Japanese, but they've never tried it at home. And try it at home. It's really easy. You're going to like it. And leave me comments if you have any questions about it. Okay? So I'll see you back in the kitchen soon. I'm Chef Dean Max.